Skating tonight for the Runaway Brides as they look to remain undefeated on the season, number 25, Nightmare. Number 38, NC Jammer. Number 113, Skatey Gaga. Number 151, Ash Smash'em. Number 401, Audimus Prime. Number 420, Astrothought. Number 623, Hollywood. Number 710, Mofesta. Number 1134, Jasmanian Devil. Number 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor. Co-captain number 4, Cherry Kiss. And your captain of the Runaway Brides, number 95, Lightning the Queen. Coaches tonight for the Runaway Brides, Baby and Novocaine.
And now taking the track, always pretty in pink, is the Brutal Beauties. And for the Brutal Beauties tonight is number 5, Motion Sickness. Number 12, Maximum Overdrive. Number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Number 16, Black Mamba. 75, Fitzwilliam Darcy. 9, MK3, Gypsy Danger. 182, Hannibal Lecture. 187, Sour Appletini. 304, Critter. 462, Slamnesia. 999, Sweet Baby Ray. And your co-captain for this evening is 925, Evil Twin. And your captain is number 2187, Princess Leia. Your captains for the Brutal Beauties tonight is Honey Trap and Bang Tong.
We are ready to get underway. 60 more minutes of roller derby action ready to go. As we mentioned, Runaway Brides looking to continue their title defense as the year goes on. Brutal Beauties looking for their first victory of the season. There's a bike horn. Apparently this is a morning zoo radio show. Zay, buddy! Zay, it's Castro and Clofton in the morning. Honk, honk, honk. Well, I don't even know why there was a bike horn. Meanwhile, Cherry Kiss, you just roll with the punches. Sometimes there's a bike horn, you know? Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides and Princess Leia.
Princess Leia
yes.
for the Brutal Beauties.
All right.
Both jammers kind of easing into the pack there, looking for their spot, though. Leia and Cherry are kind of hugging up on each other, though. That's kind of nice. Although now they both make a break for it.
Yeah. Now you see that kind of faster, much more physical action now with the adult league as we had seen in the minor league. You definitely see it's kind of like watching roller derby on fast speed now. As Cherry Kiss along the inside gets out for the Runaway Brides' first lead jam here in the early going.
Leia got knocked off onto the infield, but is back on the track and is looking to make that, get an opening. Ooh.
Yeah, big hit. Slaya bounced up off the rail, but gets out and is out and going to try to force this call off by Cherry Kiss, which does then follow. So we're underway. There we go. We have started. Here an arms penalty trickling in, so penalties are underway as well. That's going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor at the jammer line this time for the Runaway Brides. Oh, goodness, we have a timeout already. Freya Hugs getting into the action quickly as game executioner. We got an OTO pretty much as early as it possibly could be after the first jam. So we'll step aside. 13:53 to go in the first quarter. Runaway Brides are in front 4-0 as your score check after the first jam. Let's let you know about what some more of our sponsors, as we've been mentioning over the course of the evening. Take it away, Suki.
We've got the whole vendor village happening out there. We've got Dead Star Press, my apologies, out there. They've got a whole book. They've got bookshelves, people.
Yes.
If you have not been out there to look at the titles, please do so. It's amazing. I'm sorry, I'm a total book nerd. And that's as far as I got. Raven Sweet Haven is out there as well. Green Irish Moon with skate accessories, lace those eights.
Yeah, lace those eights.
Yes,
and
lace
then
those
Tucci's
eights.
Touchdown, they're giving away the free 10-minute
Absolutely.
massages, so definitely avail yourself of the vendor village here as we are going on in the evening. That's Hollywood for the Runaway Brides as we get back to the action.
And Evil Twin for the Beauties. Ooh, both jammers out hot. And we got ourselves a jammer race. Oh,
So we had Twin signaling to call it off, and Hollywood had gotten by along the inside, and apparently Hollywood had taken lead before Twin was able to signal.
That's what it looks like.
So Hollywood now ripping up to the pack and is going to blast through along the rail and call it off.
That was fast and furious right there.
Absolutely. So 4 more points for the Brides, and now Mo Fasta for the Runaway Brides, number 710 at the jammer line.
And we've got Princess Leia on the jammer line for the Beauties.
Yep, once again. Wow, big hit by Mo right through the pack and is going to get out.
Oh, but Princess Leia is right on their tail. Mo decides to call it off early.
Slaya had shook loose behind Mo, so Mo calls it off for the Brides. Right back into, man, this is a very tight jammer rotation. There's Sandra Slay O'Connor already again for the Brides, and Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties. I have to give you credit, Suki. I have to give you credit. I always
what?
say Bruties at one point, but I do not always say Brutal Beauties. That just occurred to me. I was like, I wanted to mention that. That's a good one.
Good
At least
stuff,
you got the
right?
Bruties out of the way for us, right?
I did. Oh my gosh.
We're done and done.
My sincerest apologies to the
Yeah,
Brutal Beauties.
Yes. That is Evil Twin, as we mentioned, down along the inside. That's always a running gag. Whenever there's a Beauties bout, is when is Clofton going to say Bruties for the first time? And we just, you know what? We just got that out of the way early
It's
this
the
time.
alliteration.
It is.
I love
it is.
alliterations, but man, sometimes apparently the bees just aren't working for me.
Sandra Slay O'Connor fighting at the back of the pack and is trying to get clear. It's gonna
Evil Twin, ooh, taking a
Yeah, neither
bit of a
one out
tumble
yet.
there.
Yeah, both jammers down for a moment. Sandy now.
Is it just me, or is everything super physical right from the start? Like we just started off with a
very
bang.
physical here, yeah. And we had with the star passed forward to Lightning the Queen, who's going to take over as jammer, but it's probably not going to matter that much. No, I'm sorry, that's Autumnus Prime. That's not Lightning the Queen. That was Prime taking over as jammer for the Runaway Brides. And I see Prime headed to the penalty box, but is going to take the star off, so that must mean that Prime picked up a penalty as a blocker. And this will not. Is it a power jam? Yes, Prime puts the star back on. That was a jammer penalty on Prime. So that is a hazard of passing that star forward, is if you pick up a penalty when you're then wearing the star, it does become a power jam. So Beauties are going to look to get on the board here. It's a power jam for the Brutal Beauties.
Yeah, and it looks like Gypsy Danger is going to take this one, jamming for the Beauties. Looking for an opening, but the Runaway Brides notorious for that defense, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Gypsy's working really hard there.
Can see here, we've mentioned before watching Runaway Brides bouts that they definitely make their hay on the power jam. They will play you straight up and very even on the regular jams, but they make their differences by preventing points on power jams and getting points on their power jams is how they make their hay. Sort of been their MO. And you see here with 23 seconds left in this power jam, so far the Brides defense has been up to the task.
Absolutely. Gypsy's not giving up, but it is definitely a difficult feat for them. They're up against the rail here, trying to push past Hollywood. And Lightning the Queen is up there, as well as Cherry Kiss.
Yeah, but we're going to have applause down here from the Brides fans over in the stands, I hear, as they're going to applaud for defense. Excellent defense by the Runaway Brides on the power jam to prevent any points from being scored by the Brutal Beauties.
And that looks like Motion Sickness is on the line for the Beauties.
And that's going to be NC Jammer for the Runaway Brides. That's 2 Doomsday Valkyries out there serving in sub roles for these two teams this evening. So yeah, two teammates looking at each other from across the jammer line here. They get underway. The Brides have a skater in the penalty box.
Motion Sickness going up against Lightning the Queen there, trying to get their way around them at the high against the rail. Looking for another opening. Night Mary's right there, though, to kind of complete that and bust them out onto the infield. Sickness comes around. Ooh.
Sick tries to go just around the outside and almost went face first into the kick plate up there under the rail.
Yeah, Mary took a tumble there, and Motion Sickness was just in the way.
Neither jammer out yet, as we mentioned. There goes NC Jammer, just putting the lie to it. NC gets out for the Brides. Motion Sickness has the star cover off and has dropped it and then has picked it up and is still holding it. 7 seconds left on the jam. Brides looking to get some points on the board now. Star was passed forward to Hugs and Stitches, who takes over as jammer of record for exactly 1 second. And then the whistle blows on the jam. There's going to be a timeout of some flavor. Let's find out what this timeout smells like. That is an official timeout, is this variety of timeout. So we'll step aside for a moment. Ended up being 4 points for the Runaway Brides, 12-0 here in the very early going, and an official timeout. Let's give away a prize. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I love Sookie waving the prize bag in front of my face. Okay, Sookie, let's see if you won some books. This is for the Dead Star Press tote bag giveaway. Be an effing weirdo. And, man, there's a lot of tickets in here. This was a popular one. Let me tell you what. All right. Your winning salmon-colored ticket is, oops, dropped it. Hold on. It's right here. It's in my chair. It's right here. I got it. The winning salmon-colored ticket is 103-508. 103-508. And Sookie says she did not win. So let's get for the Dead Star Press. Now hang on to those tickets because we're at the point of the night when people may have left. So don't throw your tickets out right away. So did you win? No. You didn't win. 103-508 for the Dead Star Press giveaway bag. Sookie did not win it, so Sookie is disappointed. And you may worry about fist fighting Sookie on the way out to the car. Just saying.
Oh yes, because I'm such a physical
type.
Well,
you're Jaeger's mom. Jaeger got it from somewhere, right? I'm just saying.
She did not get that from me.
Oh, okay.
No
All right.
way, no how.
Anyway, one more time. Dead Star Press, 103-508. Raise that hand. Give us a hoot and holler if that's you for the Dead Star Press tote bag and book. Do we got somebody down? Was that a hoot and a holler and a yes? I'm not sure. We'll check that again in a bit. I'll paperclip that there. Remind me again after a couple of jams, and we'll check that again. Save that ticket right there. We are back to the action. That is Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides.
And Princess Leia once again for the Beauties.
Yes.
Poised and ready.
Okay. Slide back forward. Oh, this is such a good song. Sorry, just thought I'd mention that. Soyo by Bomba Estéreo.
Princess Leia was hot off
Such
the
a good
jammer
song.
line there, looking to make a quick getaway.
Cherry is looking for an opening and is going to kind of knock two blockers into each other to try to get it. Slaya nearly clear of the inside and just had to tap dance around and couldn't quite get past. Cherry Kiss is out and clear for the Brides.
Yeah, Cherry Kiss is out.
Slaya just popped back up on the track and had to run right back down off the track, trying to not pick up a cut track penalty. Here comes Cherry up to the high side and is going to run into a couple of skaters. And Cherry eventually kind of finagles her way through the pack and gets out. We've got Princess Leia out as well and is right in behind Cherry. Cherry's going to still try to get back to the pack and see what kind of points she can get, if at all possible. Is still not surrendering and is going to get up there and call it off. Did she call it off? I was going to say, Sleia's got three fingers up in the air. That's zesty. 508. We have a winner for the book raffle. All right. Dead Star Press has been given away. Somebody is very happy with that prize. Okay, that was a, you know what? I said that was zesty. Saleha got all 3 of those points on the back end. Saleha got all 3 of those points on the pursuit. Excellent
Love
jammer
that.
awareness by Saleha, knowing exactly where she was on the track. Now, meanwhile, in this jam, I see that's Nightmare for the Runaway Brides, fighting with 4 Brutal Beauties at the front of the pack.
Yeah,
It is just
is that Princess Leia?
crazy.
No,
And
motion
then
sickness is for the Beauties. Sorry, towards
Mary
the back
was-
of the pack there.
Yep, Mary just able to get out. They must have called they must have called pack definition at the back. So Mary is out. There is 20 seconds left in this jam, and Beauties have passed the star to Hugs and Stitches, who got knocked down almost immediately, and the whole pack has just gone on by. So Mary finishing off another scoring pass. Stitches now is going to hold up here with the star in her hand and play some jammer defense, or at least try to. And successfully, I would say, it would appear successfully prevented Mary from getting another point on the back end there. Next jam is going to be NC Jammer for the Brutal Beauty, the Runaway Brides. NC Jammer for the Runaway Brides.
And it looks like Hannibal Lecture is going to be on the jammer line for
Yeah.
the Beauties.
This is Hanny jamming for the first time for the Beauties. Hannibal Lecture often skates with the Bombshells. That is her home team. Bombshells off tonight. And Hanny is up there towards the front already, really quick. And getting out along the inside instead is NC Jammer. So NC gets out and clear.
Hannibal Lecture towards the middle of the pack there, gets bumped off onto the infield, has to rejoin as NC Jammer's coming around for some points. Lecture making a play there, up around one of their teammates. Ooh, gets bumped off by Lightning the Queen.
So NC coming around again. Hannibal Lecture now is trying to get there and now is able to get clear. Bunch of skaters down like bowling pins there in the front straightaway. Looks like everybody's up and okay. And NC dips around that last skater and calls it off. All right. 9-point jam for the Brides. We are looking at Evil Twin directly in front of me.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor, 1981 for the Brides.
Yep.
A familiar combo on the jam line. Twin trying to find their way around that 3 wall. That's comprised of Nightmare, Holly Hood, and
yeah,
not
excellent work so
seeing
far.
the
They got
number
Sandy
there.
spun off to the inside, and now there's Stitches and Critter getting some help. There is Pivot is springing in there for the Brides. Sandy's still not out. Stitches and Critter hanging on to it. 25 seconds left in this regular strength jam.
yeah,
The-
Evil Twin is stuck there at the back.
Yeah, the Brides defense not in question. Still back there at the
No.
back of the pack. But definitely the Beauties here holding up well. Only 8 seconds left on the clock, so that's probably going to be one of those academic ones where they're just going to keep pushing forward and the clock's going to rhyme out. So a good cheer from the Beauties fans out in the audience. Beauties able to hold Sandra Slay O'Connor in on that one. There'll be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter when this next jam starts. It's going to be Cherry Kiss and Princess Slaya. As we said, a very tight jammer rotations. Basically the same handful of jammers coming out for both
yeah, it
teams.
seems to be very routine, very scheduled. So maybe they'll throw some surprises at us in
Have
the
a
next
stoppage and timeout of some
few quarters.
fashion here. Let's find out what Freya Hug says. It's going to be another official timeout. So 2:35 to go in the first quarter. 39-3 your score right now. The Runaway Brides are in front.
Really quickly, don't forget there is silent auction items up, a $400 Lost Dutchman tattoo and a $300 Rhea Riot tattoo gift certificate that's still up for grabs. So visit the vendor village and put in your bid for that. And I think we're down to just one more raffle prize, and that would be the Switchblade Salon haircut.
And Raven.
Oh, and
We
Raven.
have, yeah,
I'm so
the
sorry.
Ravens,
And
the
Ravens.
Raven complete
A whole apple pie.
I was
a
gonna say-
whole caramel apple pie.
a whole A apple pie,
Yes.
if you want to say.
And a whole haircut from Switchblade
Yes, and
Salon.
also, yes, and then the Switchblade Salon
Not
haircut. Those
half of
raffle
your head,
prizes.
the
Right,
whole head.
exactly.
Yes.
Well, you could get half of your head cut if you wanted to.
to.
If you wanted to.
Yes.
Exactly.
But you can do your whole
you
head
could,
if you
yes.
want to.
Yes. If that is what you choose to do.
Absolutely.
You
They're
know what?
open to whatever style
You know what?
you
Yeah.
want to go with.
Yeah, you know what? Strange would probably, if you said Strange, can you bick it? I bet Strange would bick it and just go full Kojak. All right, we are back to the action. It is going to be, after that official timeout, a power jam for the Runaway Brides. The Brutal Beauties also have, it looks like a blocker in the penalty box as well. Cherry Kiss for the Brides is going to kind of dispense with a couple of blockers and get out rather quickly. Brides are going to set up at the back of the pack and hold that goat in at the back.
Beauty's trying to set up a little bit of defense there. Cherry Kiss kind of sneaks around that upper rail there, coming around for some points.
Slaya now able to break the goat situation and tries to get up in there. A couple of skaters down. Cherry Kiss is going to finish off that scoring pass. Gypsy Danger out of play. 22 seconds left in the Runaway Brides Power Jam. I see Fitzwilliam Darcy right in front of us here trying to drive through Lightning the Queen.
Yeah,
and
they were
Darcy
trying to
down
really
to the
break
infield.
up
Yeah.
that whole wall there, give a little space.
Fitzwilliam Darcy wearing that mask has got kind of a Bane vibe going on from The Dark Knight Rises. Very.
Yes, brothers, we will make the blocks. Oh, that's my terrible Bane impression.
That was the worst Bane impression anybody's ever heard in history. You're welcome. That is going to be checking
Motion
from the
sickness
infield.
for the Beauties, yes.
Yes.
And
Holly Hood for the
Holly
Brides.
Hood. I think this is Holly Hood's first time on the jammer line tonight.
All right. At the end of the day, that ended up being a 19-point jam for the Runaway Brides in a non-power jam type fashion. So the Brides really tacking a big old number of points on the board there. 1:05 to go in the first quarter. As we said, Holly Hood and motion sickness.
Ooh, big bump there. Getting Holly Hood off onto the infield.
Yeah, excellent
but
block
back
by-
up on the track there. It makes it through. Is now lead jammer. Motion sickness is looking to make it through that 3 wall in the back there.
And 6 going to get out for the Beauties. So try to keep this to 1 scoring attempt for Holly Hood, who's going to weave through. Gets up to the high side. And calls it off. So 1 more jam here in the first quarter. Checking that score from the infield. This is going to be Cherry Kiss and Princess Slaya. 4 points as we figured for the Brides. There we are. We're underway. This is going to expend the quarter clock. Cherry down to the inside. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. And Slaya.
Slaya's out as lead jammer.
Slaya dashing along the inside. Brutal
Yeah.
Beauties lead jam.
Looking to get some points here. Lightning the Queen has now taken over the star and is circling around. Let's see if Slaya's able to collect a few.
Yep. And Lightning's got the pedal down. Lightning is coming
Oh.
fast. And Slaya's going to get knocked down to the inside and has to get up and call it quick. Yeah. Lightning had the hammer down and was coming with the quickness on that one. And it looked like Lightning might have gotten a point on the back. We'll have to check it.
They were not playing around.
And there it is. Lightning the Queen does get 2 points on the back end of that on the pursuit. So Slaya had called it off. Slaya does not look like Slaya picked up any points. So 64-3, that was it. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. So quarter break. We are going to step aside for a 5-minute break. We will be right back with more action here. 64-3 is your score at the moment. We'll give away some raffle prizes in a bit. All right, we are just about to come back from our quarter break, and when we officially do, we are going to start with a points challenge. It has already been advised to us. I don't know what team yet, but Freya's going to let us know in about 3 seconds what team that would be. And it's going to be challenged by the Brutal Beauties. Brutal Beauties are going to challenge the points that were awarded in that last jam. So something they didn't like about that, I'm going to guess they're going to challenge the fact that they didn't get any. I would have to say that is probably going to be, yes, because the point and the ghost point at the back of the pack seem to be pretty above reproach. So I'm going to guess they're challenging the fact that they were not awarded any points. So technically we are back to game action, but we're in a challenge to begin the second quarter. We have a question from a fan. We have a fan that would like to know. Jump in the Twitch chat and answer this question in the Twitch chat. Or come by here and let us know, and we will announce it for this person. But we have a fan named Lark who would like to know if you were going to eat a crayon, what color of crayon would you eat and why? So I think it's the and why is exactly is the question, because all crayons mostly taste the same. Mostly.
Do they? Are you sure?
Well, yeah. I mean, like all crayons in a box would probably taste the same.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So. I mean, unless they're scented crayons, in which case they would.
Green M&Ms
right.
taste different than other M&Ms.
Well, hypothetically speaking. So anyway, yes. If you were to eat a crayon, what color of crayon would you eat and why? This is a question that was posed to us during the quarter break. They wanted to ask it on the mic, and I said I don't think we can do that, but I did say I would ask for them. So that is your question.
So what's your answer?
Infidel Castro says he would eat orange because nothing rhymes with orange, and that's why.
Okay.
So apparently Castro likes non-rhyming foods.
What would your color be?
I don't know. I purple because that's my favorite color. I don't know.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
One of my tattoos is purple. Sure. Meanwhile, we would like to let you know about some of our upcoming events here at the Hall of Dames. We've got the All Skate. The All Skate is the last Friday of every month. That is at 6 to 9 p.m., and that is right here at the warehouse. So that is going to be coming up on, let me think, Friday, January 30th. Friday, January 30th is the All Skate. Everyone's welcome, whether you're there to scrimmage, open skate, or just vibe with the derby community. There's a QR code on the slideshow that plays during halftime, etc. You can sign up there or show up and just roll. No RSVP needed. So that's Friday, January 30th, 6 to 9 p.m.
And we've already talked a little bit about Roller Rage, which is coming up, so mark your calendars for that. But also mark your calendars for Saturday, February 7th for our next home team bout, which is the Coffin Draggers taking on the Runaway Brides, who are on the track this evening, and then followed by the Bombshells skating against the Doomsday Valkyries. So make sure you put both of those events on your calendar. Roller Rage is a 3-day event, all day into the night, extravaganza, and then we have got our next home bout on Saturday, February 7th.
All right, looks like word has been spread to the benches. Challenge unsuccessful. Black was challenging, the Brutal Beauties were challenging whether they got any points, and the regulators have determined after review, no. So, Brutal Beauties have lost their first half challenge. They will have one to use in the second half. Whistled up to the track. We are going to have Night Mary for the Runaway Brides, and that is Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. Underway we go here in the second quarter, and Princess Leia, yeah, right around the inside, gets out for the Brutal Beauties and is out and clear. Night Mary just bullies through the pack and just shoves a blocker out of the way, as Mary tends to do sometimes.
Leia looking to make get some points here before Night Mary. Oh, jump, yes.
Leia with the big coping jump to get over that block from Hollywood, lands, calls it off on the track. All right. 1 second. All right. Official timeout discussion. It looks like it's continuing. Let's give away this prize real quick. Switchblade Salon. Points up on the board there for the Brutal Beauties after that review. 64-7. Your Switchblade Salon salmon-colored ticket, 103,909. 103,909. We'll double check on that here once this jam starts. I thought that timeout was going to go on a little longer. But yeah, 103,909 is the winner for Switchblade Salon, and we'll re-announce that here momentarily. Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides. And
Evil Twin for the Beauties.
Yep.
Cherry Kiss is out as lead jammer for the Runaway Brides. Evil Twin working their way around, trying to get through Lightning the Queen, last Runaway Bride blocker, at least until somebody else showed up, Ash Smash'em. Cherry Kiss trying to find their way through the pack to get some points.
Cherry, after fighting through the pack, gets out for the Brides. So now here with a running start is Evil Twin, and is going to blast through and get through the pack for the Beauties. Try to keep this to one more scoring pass for Cherry, who finishes off that scoring pass. Looking around, and Cherry calls it off.
On the jammer line, we have got Gypsy Danger for the Beauties and Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides.
It looks like a full pack out there. I don't see anybody in the penalty box. That was 9 points for the Brides in that last jam.
One goes high, one goes low, and it looks like Sandra Slay O'Connor is out as lead jammer for the Runaway Brides. Gypsy Danger gets bumped off onto the infield by Holly Hood back there, who's creating a nice little two-wall with Night Mary. But Danger is out now, coming around.
Yep, and now we've got Sandy is going to find an opening and finish off that scoring pass, gets out and calls it off. Looks like we've got another power jam coming up for the Runaway Brides. I just saw them shift to their power offense and handing the star to Cherry Kiss. So Cherry Kiss for the Brides, another Brides power jam as we mentioned. That was a 4-point jam for the Brides, 77-7 right now. Cherry gets knocked down trying to clear the pack and is going to get blocked in the back by Slaya and knocked back up on the track. Has to get up behind the whole pack. So gets up and has to reestablish. They're going to get bumped off again one more time. Looks like we got the winners for the Switchblade Salon. So that's fantastic. I'm glad that's been claimed. Maximum Overdrive taking a tumble down along the inside. Couple of blockers down for the Brutal Beauties. And as yet, Cherry Kiss still not out on this power jam. So Beauty's defense is standing strong here. Now we've had the star passed forward to Lightning the Queen, taking over as jammer for the Brutal Beauties with 14 seconds left here in this Runaway Brides power jam. We've got Lightning running directly into Hugs and Stitches at the back of the pack. And kind of taking a slow spin, stepping over a down blocker to get back on the track, and the clock expires on that power jam. There we go. Chapstick on. Team timeout. Runaway Brides are going to take their second timeout of the first half. So they're going to use their first timeout of the first half. This is their first timeout of the first half. I looked over and Castro had already taken the timeout off the board. So yes, they do still have a timeout remaining in this half. We will take a break in the action, as we mentioned. 77-7. No points there for Cherry Kiss on that power jam. Don't forget, we've got those silent auction items down there that you can still go in and place bids on. Go down and check and see what the bids look like if you're here in person. We've got the Lost Dutchman Tattoo $400 gift certificate and the Ray Riot Tattoo $300 gift certificate. Be sure to get down there and check out those silent auction items right now and see what's available. And we are still waiting for the raffle giveaway of the caramel apple pie from Raven Sweet Haven. Food truck is still out there for halftime consideration. So, excuse me, not Shawarma Express. I almost said that. Hummus Express. We have a challenge now. The Runaway Brides took a team timeout and have now challenged. So, all right, so Brides are challenging. Points were just reported, so 81-7, and it would appear that the Brides are challenging a penalty. We will find out what that penalty is momentarily and get us right back to the action. Don't forget we've got our sponsors. Earlier we gave away that Siphon Draw Apothecary gift bag. Fantastic Siphon Draw Apothecary skincare products. Siphon Draw Apothecary offers handmade organic skincare made with the finest organic, local, and ethically sourced ingredients available. Siphon Draw was created by Arizona Derby names legend Colleen Sinclair, a.k.a. Dolly de los Muertos, and is skater-owned and operated. They offer a wide variety of skincare products, as well as doctor-recommended topicals for pain and eczema relief. Visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town out east of Apache Junction, or order from their website, siphondraw.com.
Another one of our terrific sponsors is Switchblade Salon, established in 2005. It's queer-owned and operated salon whose mission is to be a safe space in the community where every client is comfortable being exactly who they are, providing body-positive, gender-affirming hair creations to encourage and inspire individuals to be their most authentic selves. Stylists at the salon specialize in progressive short hair, blonding, creative color, mullets, and shags. If you are looking for an inclusive space and amazing hair, look no further. Switchblade Salon is located in Central Phoenix off 16th Street and Indian School. For more information, head over to their website, switchbladesalon.com, and on Instagram.
Hey fans, you saw that minor assaults bout earlier on this evening. Now, if you know a skater who's between the ages of 10 and 17 that you think would really jive with that, put them in touch with us. We will get you in touch with the Coach Al, Coach Callie, several of the coaches from the minor assaults. We'll put you in touch with them. It really, sincerely, is you would hear, what's up? Anyway, the minor assaults are always looking. We don't have like open tryouts for the minor assaults, as we don't for the regular skaters anymore either. I am dizzy now. Woo! That's why we stand. So the minor assaults are always looking for new skaters to join their program, obviously, and they teach not only like skating skills, like it really is like a thing for teenagers to be in, that teaches them life skills that go beyond what's happening on the roller derby rink. You know what I mean? And I've talked to a lot of skaters who skated with the minor assaults who have told me like how much it helped them handling, you know, high school and middle school and junk like that. I've talked to Nightmare at length about this. I'm not just making this up as I go along. So the minor assaults, definitely. If you know of somebody, again, ages of 10 to 17, and all they have to basically be able to do is know how to skate, that's it. And so they will put you in touch with the right people to get that set up. That's the minor assaults. Challenge has wrapped up, so we'll get the verdict here momentarily. All right, looks like that's been announced to the teams. That is a successful challenge by the Runaway Brides. That is a penalty overturn. There was a back block on Lightning the Queen, and that penalty has been overturned after that long review, and we'll get back to the game action. 10:42 to go in the second quarter, 10:42 to go until halftime.
And on the jammer line, we've got number 5, Motion Sickness for the Beauties, and number 38, NC Jammer for the Runaway Brides.
Motion Sickness is going to get run up into the rail by Lightning. NC Jammer is up to the front of the pack and is now going to duck down to the inside and get clear.
Motion Sickness looking to make a move there at the back of the pack. Getting a little bit of opposition. Teammates trying to help them out. NC Jammer coming in for some points, however.
So NC gets through the pack, and I have seen the star come off, and the star has been handed forward. Taking over as jammer is Black Mamba. Taking over as jammer for the Brutal Beauties. So now NC Jammer is going to weave through, finish off that scoring pass, and call it off. Looks like we got Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties, and jamming for the first time for the Runaway Brides, that is Jasmanian Devil.
Twin goes towards the high there, looking for a space, and makes it out as lead jammer for the Beauties.
Cheer goes up from the Beauties.
To get some points here. Jasmanian Devil struggling a little bit there towards the middle of the pack. Evil Twins trying to find some points there, coming up against Hollywood, up against the rail, and Sandra Slay O'Connor.
You can see right there, Evil Twin is still trying to get past Hollywood and Sandra Slay O'Connor at the front of the pack. Still just cannot quite get by Hood. Yeah, can't quite get by Hood. Hood using that rail to her advantage and using that rail as an extra blocker. Twins are going to get back up at the back of the pack and call it off.
Jasmanian Devil was finding a similar situation with those beauty blockers too.
So 3 points for the Brutal Beauties. It's going to be Gypsy Danger for the Brutal Beauties.
And Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides.
That's right. Cherry bouncing around is going to get around Black Mamba, who was out of play. And Cherry Kiss is out and clear.
Towards the back of the pack there. Going up against some Runaway Brides blockers. Now the pack is moving a little bit faster, forcing Gypsy Danger to move along with it. Cherry Kiss circling around for some more points. Beauties have a 4-wall built up there at the back with Gypsy Danger functioning as jammer defense.
16 seconds left on the jam clock. Cherry is still trying to fight through here at the back of the pack.
It's taking off a few seconds, so that was smart on the Beauties' part.
Yeah, definitely. Gypsy Danger is just right there at the front of the pack playing jammer defense and trying to hold up Cherry Kiss from getting through the pack one more time. So 10 points for the Brides. That takes the Brides right up to 100 for the bout. 100 to 10. That is Nightmare for the Brides.
And number 5, Motion Sickness for the Beauties. Looks like Nightmare's playing a little bit of jammer defense too, kind of nudging Motion Sickness there, kind of get them out of the way so they can clear a path. Nightmare is out for the Runaway Brides as lead jammer. Motion Sickness still trying to find their way. It It looks like we had a star pass there to Hugs and Stitches, who is now on the move.
We did indeed.
Nightmare right behind, though.
So Stitches now is going to try to play keep away and not let herself become a point for Mary. Mary cannot catch up to Stitches. So, no extra point at the back of the pack. That'll be 4 points for the Brides. Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. And that is Cherry Kiss once again for the Runaway Brides. All right, underway. Ends up being 5 points for the Brides after discussion. So 105 for the Brides. And we are underway.
Princess Leia kind of edging her way around the coping and go to the high, now down to the middle. Just trying to find a way around Lightning the Queen. And manages to do so and becomes lead jammer. The beauties are very excited over there on the bench.
Cherry's got the star off and is now going to proceed on with it in her hand. We'll pop that back on momentarily, I'm sure. Sleia now is going to try to catch up to the pack. Pretty quickly moving pack, but they got one Bride's blocker knocked down. Sleia to the high side, trying to get her hips around in front of Lightning, and we will see if she was successful. Three points for Princess Leia and the Brutal Beauties. That's going to be Critter at the jammer line for the Beauties.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor, number 1981 for the Runaway Brides. Both jammers go high there, trying to force their way through. Critter trying the high again, up against the rail. Trying to work around, I believe that's NC Jammer there at the top. Kind of comes down low and does get out of the pack.
There is
So
Critter
Beauties
getting out
have
of the pack,
lead
right?
Jammer.
Sandra Slay O'Connor knocked down to the inside hard. Kind of took her a second to get up and figure out what was going on. And you see Critter taking a slide down to the inside.
Back up and ready to resume. Wanting to put some points on the board for their team. Getting pushed up against the rail there by Hollywood. Looks like Maximum Overdrive trying to give a little bit of help there.
Got Max spinning around the outside of the pack. 2 seconds left. It looks like they're just going to let this clock run down and expire, and they do. We'll check on the score from the infield, see what kind of points the Beauties were able to tack up there. So 4 points for the Beauties, and the Beauties get a Power Jam. It is the first Brutal Beauties Power Jam of the evening. No, it is not the first Brutal Beauties Power Jam of the evening, is it? I do
don't
not think it
believe
is.
so.
No, it is not.
That's okay.
My mistake. The Brides already had one
and actually,
0
it
point
looks
Power
like
Jam.
It's not a Power Jam.
It is also not a Power Jam. Not even a Power Jam. Not only is it not the first one, it's not one at all. Meanwhile, no, that is true though. The Beauties already, the Brides already had one of those. That is Lightning the Queen, who jumped out there real quick. That's how you can kind of tell they weren't expecting to feel the jammer, as Lightning doesn't often go out there as a
That's true.
as a thing.
Yeah.
They would have by now if that was a thing. You would have seen Lightning on the jammer line by now if that was a thing. Meanwhile, along the inside and getting clear for the Brutal Beauties, there goes Gypsy Danger. So Lightning is going to look around, and there it looks like they're going to let some clock run, and then
Gonna just watch Gypsy Danger kind of come around there.
Pretty much.
Calls it off.
Be about 2 minutes to go until halftime when this next jam starts. Don't forget that Hummus Express is still available outside. Freya had their food between bouts. It looked amazing. As I said, I don't eat. I can't eat, or I'd be sitting up here hiccuping and burping. I've done this before. That's why I don't do it. But yeah, trust me, that food looked incredible. So head out there and get some Hummus Express at halftime if you're looking for a bite to eat. There's going to be Nightmare on the jammer line for the Runaway Brides.
And Motion Sickness for the Beauties. Both jammers are off. Let's see, Nightmare has the star off, so I'm not sure what we're planning to do there. Motion Sickness actually makes it out first as lead
Yep.
jammer.
Sick fighting through. The Brutal Beauties have gotten lead jammer several times here in this second quarter, so definitely able to get their jammer out with a little more regularity here as the second quarter has gone on. There's Night Mary clearing for the Brides, puts the star back on.
Motion Sickness hoping to get maybe a few points, but then calls it off right before Night Mary gets to the
Motion
pack.
Sickness looking. I heard people on the front straightaway yelling, call it. I don't even think that was the bench. But Sick was aware. Sick was aware with the jammer awareness. So 3 points for the Beauties. However, Motion Sickness appears to have picked up a penalty. It is another power jam for the Runaway Brides. That is Cherry Kiss at the jammer line, as she often is for Runaway Brides power jams. This is probably going to take us to halftime since there is less than a minute to go on the quarter clock.
And Cherry Kiss is off and rolling on this power jam, very easily making through that pack. I'm sure looking to put up some big numbers for the Brides.
First scoring pass in the books for Cherry Kiss. 35 seconds left in this Runaway Brides power jam. Cherry Kiss coming around with 17 seconds left in this power jam. Staggered out pack. Cherry is going to weave through once again.
Beauty's trying to make an effort to stop them. Looks like it was Gypsy Danger and Evil Twin trying to create a wall there, hold them back a little bit.
Yep, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that'll do it. So we'll check on the points from the infield here. That was a partial scoring pass. 14-point jam for the Runaway Brides to take us into the halftime break. So 15-minute halftime break coming up. It is going to be 124-20. The Runaway Brides are in front. 30 minutes of Derby action remaining after this halftime break. We'll give away some more prizes. We'll give away that Raven Sweet Haven caramel apple pie, and we will give away the silent auction prizes. We'll be back in 15 minutes. We've got a discussion going on down there on the front straightaway as I welcome you back to the Derby Arena. I do not know what that discussion is for, but it is Coach Ben Tong from the Brutal Beauties and Team Captain Lightning the Queen from the Runaway Brides. So, some brief discussion, and then we are going to get back to the action. 124-20, the Runaway Brides are in front. We've got your silent auction winners. We will send you down to the silent auction down there by the front where the tickets were sold. I am going to, what are we waiting for here? Okay, they are. We are going to give those away. I was just making sure I had time before the jam started. Okay, here we go. Silent auction. Yeah, Raven, we're giving away the Ravens prize last. That is going to be later. Your silent auction, the winner of the Lost Dutchman tattoo is Alexis DePasquale. Alexis DePasquale is the winner of the Lost Dutchman tattoo. The winner of the Raya Riot tattoo is Julie Hoffer. Julie Hoffer is the winner of the Raya Riot tattoo. So Julie Hoffer for Raya Riot. and Alexis De Pasquale for the Lost Dutchman tattoo. Head on down to the raffle prize / ticket booth, etc., etc. And we're going to have a challenge to start things off now that we've gotten ready to get underway. So for the second straight bout, we have a challenge to start the second half. All right, so this is technically a first half challenge. I did have to clarify that. The same thing happened in the previous bout. Since they're challenging something that happened in the last jam of the first half, this is technically the Runaway Brides first half challenge.
Because we technically haven't started the second half.
That is correct. This is from the first half action, and you can't challenge something after that jam is ended. So, okay. All right, yeah, had to talk through it. Thank you. All right, cool. So, challenge is continuing. Raven Sweethaven, that caramel apple pie is still available. We have not given away that raffle prize yet, so if you want to go down there and throw some more of your raffle tickets in that bag, you absolutely could. You can go down there and buy some more raffle tickets and try to win that pie. The challenge looks like... actually, I thought it was going to break up already. Let's see, though, so we'll have to wait and see.
We have a huddle of regulators. Wait, maybe they're breaking up now. Looks like maybe we're done with the challenge.
Yeah. So we get the word here momentarily. Okay, so the Runaway Brides used their first half challenge to challenge their points from the jam at the end of the first half. Challenge unsuccessful, points upheld. However, that, as we said, was the Runaway Brides' first half challenge. So they do still have a challenge to use here in the second half. We're going to start with Cherry Kiss at the jammer line for the Brides and Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties.
And the jammers are on their way. One high, one low. Looks like Evil Twin is going along the coping there, working their way to the middle of the pack, trying to find an opening out of the pack. Cherry Kiss as well towards the middle to back, making a play to the high, and it works. They're out as lead jammer. Evil Twin at the back of the pack now, having been bumped off onto the infield, is now looking for an opening. Circling around, Astro thought there for the Brides, around Lightning, oh, no, not around Lightning the Queen.
Twins trying to go around Mo Fasta along the rail and not able to get there, and now routed off by Astro thought one more time. So we look now here at Cherry in front of us with 11 seconds to go in this jam. Cherry is trying to get through as best she can, looking around.
Yeah, Cherry's finding a little bit of opposition by the Beauties blockers up there.
And that'll do it for this first jam of the third quarter. So we'll check on that score from the infield. Five points for the Runaway Brides. This will be Sandra Slay O'Connor at the jammer line for the Brides, and that is going to be Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties.
Sandy barrels through the Beauties blockers and ends up being lead jammer for the Brides. Coming around, Princess Leia looking for their opening. Coming up against a tight wall of Night Mary and Hollywood there. Sandy's looking to get some points coming around the back of the pack, though, but runs into a few of those Beauties, looking to stop them. Yeah, big collision here in the front straightaway. We got a skater down on the track.
Gonna roll over and get up. That's Princess Leia. So she's up and she's got her hands on her hips, so she's at least up on her skates, but looks a little dazed at best.
That was a hard hit there.
Quite a hard hit. And Sleia's gonna take the star off and go to try to hand this forward with 11 seconds left in this jam. Sandy coming around to the pack. Sleia's just kind of staying out of the way at this point. And 1 second, no seconds left on that clock. Checking down there, there's a hug there along the front straightaway. Holly Hood and Princess Leia coming together. Brief word between the two of them. And Hood headed over to the penalty box. We are looking at Evil Twin in front of me right here, and that is Skatey Gaga for the first time, jamming
first
for the
time
brides.
jammer.
Yes, exciting.
Skatey Gaga up against the rail there, looking to get around a couple of beauties. Looks like Critter and Maximum Overdrive doing a good job kind of holding them back for the moment. Maximum Overdrive up again, head them off. Skatey Gaga's fighting though.
Twin spun around by lightning and gets knocked down to the infield.
Meanwhile, Evil Twin is out as lead jammer, looking to put up some points for the beauties.
Skatey Gaga is going to get bounced around again now with Maximum Overdrive driving Skatey Gaga up into the rail. Now here comes Twin for the beauties. Is going to run up into Skatey Gaga with 10 seconds left on the jam clock. And that whistle brings the jam to a close. Three points for the Brutal Beauties on that jam. This is going to be NC Jammer for the Runaway Brides, and that's Gypsy Danger for the Brutal Beauties.
Gypsy Danger making a big play against Holly Hood there at the rail. Night Mary is there to kind of provide some opposition, but Gypsy Danger does make it out. Lead jammer for the beauties.
Gypsy Danger fighting through and is going to run into, wow, able to
Gypsy
get
Danger
past,
holds on.
Gypsy Danger able to get through a block by Holly Hood.
That was
Wow.
great.
Excellent move by Gypsy Danger. Is just kind of watching that develop in front of us here. Excellent move.
That was fun.
Yeah, fantastic.
Not too many people squeak by Holly Hood.
Yeah, right, absolutely. All right. So that's going to be Cherry Kiss now for the brides. 5 points for the beauties there. Motion Sickness for the Brutal Beauties. We have a blocker coming down for the Runaway Brides. All right.
Beauties are setting up a nice little 3-wall there in anticipation of Cherry Kiss coming at them.
Oh, wow. Motion Sickness just got hit hard and knocked down by one of the brides blockers.
Cherry looking. Oh, Motion Sickness is out
Yeah.
for the beauties.
Motion Sickness fighting
Cherry
right
at the back
through.
of the pack looking to make a different kind of move, possibly. Ends up back up on the track. Coming around. Looks like Motion Sickness is going to try for some points before Cherry makes it back around. Motion Sickness gets bumped off a little bit. As Cherry's kind of coming around, Motion Sickness calls it off.
Cherry believes that she got a point on the pursuit. We'll have to find out if that's correct. And as I always say, Cherry often thinks she got a point on the pursuit, but hey, you know what? She's right more often than not. That's an official
There you
timeout, so
go.
they can talk it over. All right. So, reported in no points for the Runaway Bride. So, Cherry is denied in that quest for a point. 2 points for the Brutal Beauties, so 135 to 30 as this official timeout has gotten underway. Don't forget, we're always looking for volunteer medics to help us out. We do have to have a medic down there in the infield during our contact sport. We would like to thank Zora La Bruja again for being our medic this evening. And don't forget, if you are trained as a medic or know somebody who is, they can get in and watch roller derby for free down here on the infield. We always hope that they're never called into action, but when they are, we absolutely need them there. So we're always looking for more medics to help us out. We like to have 2 if at all possible. So definitely put them in touch with us. We will get people. We will get them in touch with the right people as far as becoming a medic for the league. Timeout continues. Don't forget Roller Rage next weekend, starting Friday morning, nearly at dawn. And there will be 25 roller derby bouts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 23 half-length bouts, and then the third place and the finals bout on Sunday afternoon. I will be here the entire time. I will probably not be leaving. So,
Are you just going to set up a cot in the back? Take
something
some
like
quick
that,
naps?
yeah.
Those half-hour bouts are really, really fun. They go by really fast.
Yes, they do.
And it's really great to see a lot of skaters. We have the same skaters a lot of the time that come back year after year after year.
Yeah,
so you
that's-
really get familiar with them.
Yes. So we got 2 Runaway Brides and 1 Brutal Beauty in the penalty box. That is going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides, Princess Slaya for the Brutal Beauties. Beauties did put 2 points on the board there. So, as we said, 135 to 30. Slaya to the high side and is going to get out and clear. Slaya's out. So, Sandy's now got to get up and reestablish behind the pack. As we mentioned, the Bride's operating with a minimum of blockers. Sandy gets to go on through. Black Mamba was out of play.
And Slaya's coming around hard for some points here. Ends up running into Holly Hood, and Night Mary gets bumped off onto the infield as Sandy Slay O'Connor's coming around. Ooh, Slaya gets bumped off again.
Slaya got knocked down by Hood, got knocked off the track, but Hood popped off as well. So Slaya jumped back up and called it off. I heard a jammer penalty. I don't know on who. Let's see. It must have been, yeah, I see Slaya now heading to the, no? Is Slaya in the penalty box? No, Slaya. But it is a power jam for the Runaway Brides. Interesting.
And Cherry Kiss is going to take that one.
There we are. Thank you. It is not a power jam. And now there is Slaya. No.
No? Yes?
Thank you.
Oh, switching out.
Now Slaya's headed to the penalty box. Slaya's in the penalty box, and we have a jammer. Thank you.
I got real confused.
Now
there
we're
for a
back to it.
second.
Power jam for the Runaway Brides.
Cherry Kiss on the move. Maximum Overdrive doing their best to stop them.
Yeah, Cherry spinning around just rapidly, and
Hudson Stitches
excellent
also,
defense
yeah.
excellent defense by Hugs and Stitches on the front of the pack to hold up Cherry Kiss for that
Absolutely.
long. Excellent individual defense.
And the
Excellent
more time
job,
you run off
yes.
the clock, the better it is.
Absolutely. So now Cherry is able to get into the pack this time and is going to run into Max. Excellent block by Maximum Overdrive as well. Evil Twin taking a tumble. Good defense by the Brutal Beauties on this Power Jam scoring pass. Cherry gets through. So now Cherry is looking. Those
Beauty's forcing
defenders,
the pack
yeah.
ahead and quickly, which is great strategy considering who they're dealing with as far as the jammer.
Yeah, and the Brides were not able to get that goad pinned in, so they
Yeah.
able to just there, but no, Stitch is able to spin out of it again. So, wow.
Very
Excellent
smart.
power jam by
Yeah.
the Brutal Beauties there. Keeping themselves from getting goaded in. Excellent power jam defense, holding Cherry Kiss to just 5 points. As we've seen, that can be a big, big moneymaker for the Runaway Brides.
And unusual to keep Cherry to 5.
Yeah,
on a
very
power
much
jam.
so. Excellent power jam defense there by the Brutal Beauties. We are looking at Black Mamba for the Brutal Beauties this time. Starting as the jammer for the first time. She's taken over once.
And NC Jammer. for
That's
the
right.
Brides.
Couple of longtime minor assaults out there together. Good friends, I know. And Black Mamba's nearer the front. NC is kind of pinned at the back, but they've got, who's back there helping out? That's Optimus Prime, who just wiped out Fitzwilliam Darcy. Prime, that shoulder was fully loaded. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, here's Black Mamba. Here comes Prime to try to help out. Black Mamba still pinned into the rails, not got out. Now here comes the pivot for the Brutal Beauties. Heads slamming all over the place.
Gypsy Danger doing their best to break up that wall and keep Holly Hood occupied up against the rail.
Black
so that
Mamba.
Black Mamba has a chance.
Black Mamba checking around behind her and is waiting for an opportunity before taking off, is going to get hit. 14 seconds left on this jam right now. 5.5 minutes to go in the quarter as I glance down. Nobody's out yet. It looks like nobody's going to get out more than likely. And if they do, it's just going to be academic. But at the moment, no lead jammer. And we have a lead jammer for exactly 2 seconds. But we had a lead jammer for exactly 2 seconds. So no points for either side since nobody really effectively got out of the pack. This one's going to be Lightning the Queen for the Brides, and that's Motion Sickness for the Brutal Beauties.
Both jammers heading off there. Motion Sickness gets bumped off onto the infield by Lightning the Queen, who's functioning as jammer and jammer defense at the same time.
Yes.
Motion Sickness coming around the high and manages to break out. Lead jammer, excuse me, for the Beauties. But Lightning the Queen also breaks out and is now behind. It's a little bit of a jammer race there. You can see Motion Sickness just looking back, see how far away, how much time they might have to be able to get some points. Motion Sickness trying and does call it off prior to Lightning the Queen hitting the pack. They might have gotten maybe a point.
Yeah, we're going to take a look. No points for the Brides.
I'm thinking.
I see Zero still looking over 1 point for the Beauties. So 1 point in there. All right. Sleia. Princess Sleia is on the jammer line for the Beauties.
Sleia and Sandy. Sandy O'Connor for the Brides. Got 2 Slayers out there.
Yeah, Sleia's really taken a beating as the jammer for the Beauties, and I think in particular we've got a skater
like
down and a skater went over. Yes, wow, look at that. Everybody's up and okay.
Lead jammer for the Runaway Brides. After that leapfrog action, Princess Leia is trying to break through. NC Jammer and Holly Hood up there at the front.
Princess Sleia just went right up over the top of Slamnesia.
Sleia's on the move. Holly Hood is
have
encouragement.
Princess Sleia trying to catch up to the pack. Sandra Slay O'Connor watching the clock and lets it expire. So 4 points for the Brides, 144-34.
We've got Skady Gaga on the line for Runaway Brides and Evil Twin for the Beauties.
Underway we go. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Skady Gaga is looking for an opening along the rail, not one found yet. Evil Twin is probably nearer the front of the pack, at least for the moment, and is now going to get out and get clear.
Twin is out now as lead jam for the Beauties. Skady Gaga towards the back of the pack there, looking for a little bit of help from their teammates. As Twin's coming around to collect some points. Trying to skirt, I believe that's Ash Smash'em and Lightning the Queen back there. They're doing their best to hold back Evil Twin. Skady Gaga is kind of stuck behind 3 different Beauties there.
Evil Twin down there along the middle of the pack and a mid-scoring pass. We will check on the score. Three points for the Beauties after discussion. Respectfully staying off the mic and letting them talk that out. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. That is Princess Sleia at the jammer line. The Brides have a full complement of blockers, however, so we will see what develops from here. Sleia trying to fight through at the front of the pack and was deposited on the infield by Cherry Kiss and Holly Hood. So now they're Sleia trying to wait for them to goad up a skater at the back if they can. Hood's going to clamber by along the rail and get out of that.
Slay is looking for an opening somehow. Manages to skirt around the coping. Really nice tiptoeing there. Manages to make it out. Still got about 15 seconds, 14, 13 seconds left on that jam clock.
Yeah, Slay is trying to catch up to the pack now. Those Brutal Beauties blockers are trying to get in there and try and slow things down. Just does not look like Slay is going to get there, and in fact does not. Massive applause from Al Annihilation down there, applauding for defense. We're used to hearing that.
What?
If there's a 0-point power jam and there's one person applauding in the arena, it's Al. You know that.
Al loves some good defense.
Yes. That is Sandra Slay O'Connor on the jammer line for the Brides. This will be the last jam of the third quarter. Quarter clock's just about to expire. And Motion Sickness for the Brutal Beauties. And it's official. This is the last jam of the third quarter.
Motion Sickness looking to weave their way around what appears to be Hollywood and Prime? No. Am I right on that one? Maybe. Yes, that was Prime.
Yeah, full pack out there, and I see at the back of the pack, you got Sandy is still dealing with that 3-wall of Beauties blockers at the back of the pack. We've got Motion Sickness now. Basically, Motion Sickness just trying to drive those front blockers out of play if at all possible, and then Motion Sickness gets the wave around. Blockers at the front were
able to get out. There's still a little bit of time left on the shot clock.
Shot clock.
What the heck was I talking about?
Basketball is what you were talking about. There you go.
Motion Sickness wanting to break through this little bit of a wall here that the Brides, I say little bit, it's actually a pretty intense, impressive wall.
Spun down to the inside. Motion Sickness just trying to get those hips in front of as many skaters as they can before the whistle blows, and that'll do it for that jam. That is it for the third quarter. We will wait to get the score for the Beauties from the infield. Five points for the Brutal Beauties to take us into our final quarter break of the evening. 144-42 is the score at the moment. We will give away that last raffle prize when we come back from this quarter break. I see it heading up here right now. We'll hand that off as we get out of this quarter break. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the remainder of this evening's bout. We have started the quarter with a challenge from the third quarter. The Runaway Brides are going to challenge some of the game action from the third quarter. So to start this thing off, we're going to give away the Ravens Sweet Haven Caramel Apple Pie, our last prize of the evening.
And here's the caveat: if you win the pie, you have to bring some to us.
Well,
just kidding.
Yeah.
You don't have to
All
do
right.
that.
So again, if you have won this prize, make some noise, hoot and holler. We're going to redraw these tickets as we go because people have left. Winning prize for the Raven Sweet Haven Pie, 103875. 103875. Raven Sweet Haven Pie, 103875. Going once. 103875 going twice. If you won, you need to like yell something like that, wave. I see somebody coming this way, and I think that they maybe won the pie and don't yet know that. No, they did not win the pie. Good. Okay. Redrawing. Get those tickets ready. Here we go. Raven Sweet Haven. Caramel apple pie. 103854. 103854 for the Raven Sweet Haven caramel apple pie. 103854 going once. 103854 going twice. And we're redrawing that sucker. Raven Sweet Haven. 103857. 103857 for Raven Sweet Haven. 103857 going once. 103857 going twice. Drawing again. Raven Sweet Haven. 103793. There we got a winner. All right. Hey, we got a winner. Somebody that stuck around won themselves a caramel apple pie. So head on down, pick up your caramel apple pie from Raven. I am sure they will trust you that you are the one who won the pie. Just tell Raven that you won the pie. Don't come up here. We will tuck that in here. There we go. There we go. Save that right there. Kinda. All right. And I'll save these in case anybody else says they wanted a pie too. And the challenge ended. Look at that. It took us right up to the end. All right, we are still waiting for the benches to find out the officialness from the challenge. Here we go. All right, challenge unsuccessful. Challenge was unsuccessful. And the penalty stands. Runaway Brides penalty not overturned.
All right, now the jammer line we've got for the beauties, we've got Evil Twin, and for the brides, Cherry Kiss, who is out as lead jammer coming around. Twin took a little bit of a tumble, but's back on the track. Now towards the high, trying to get around Lightning the Queen up there as Cherry Kiss is coming around for some points. Let's see what's going to happen here. Twin is now trying to work their way around. Cherry Kiss meeting a little bit of beauty opposition there. Had to let her go, though, and off they went. Twin is out of the pack now, coming up behind Cherry. Let's see if Cherry's going to go for some more points here. Cherry goes up towards the high. Twin's coming around, and Cherry calls it off. On the jammer line, we've got Princess Leia for the beauties, and it looks like that is Jasmanian Devil for the brides. Both jammers are off and in the pack now. Jasmanian Devil's kind of stuck at the back there. Princess Leia working their way around Holly Hood at the high rail there. Princess Leia trying to find that opening. Nightmare is there as well. Prime's also getting in on the action and keeping Leia back. Jasmanian Devil is behind a couple of beauties players. Darcy there, kind of pushing Jasmanian Devil, pinning them to the rail a little bit. Princess Leia is still trying to work their way around the pack. Both jammers are kind of stuck behind some really good defense. Jasmanian Devil gets bumped up on the rail by Darcy. Does manage to make it out with about 6 seconds left on the jam clock. Princess Leia towards the back of the pack now. And they run out of time.
All right. We'll get back to the action here momentarily. That is going to be Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides and Black Mamba for the Brutal Beauties. No.
Critter.
Critter. Thank you. Sorry. Could not see Critter behind the rail.
And Critter is out as lead jammer for the Beauties. Cherry Kiss is still looking to find their way out. Does make it out of the pack. Critter's got a little bit of a lead there, is working their way around, try to get some points. Ooh, gets bumped off onto the infield by Lightning the Queen. Cherry Kiss takes advantage of some shouting and pushing there. Working their way towards the front of the pack. You've got Hugs and Stitches up there, Motion Sickness, Hover Drive. Beauty is trying to form so that Cherry Kiss is stuck behind them. Critter's kind of coming around, hoping to take advantage of an open spot, but does get bumped out onto the infield. Cherry Kiss still being held back as well. Only just a couple seconds left.
We've got Sandra Slay O'Connor approaching the jammer line for the Runaway Brides. Gypsy Danger for the Brutal Beauties. That was 3 points for the Beauties, 4 for the Brides, so points for both sides there.
Both jammers in the pack. Sandy Slay O'Connor coming up against Princess Leia, gets bumped off onto the infield. Gypsy Danger looking for their opening. Nightmare NC Jammer providing a little bit of opposition there. Holly Hood also giving them a little bit of bump. Sandra Slay O'Connor makes it out of the pack, putting on the star.
Sandy coming in with a full head of steam and is going to run up to the high side. And this time, obviously, that is now Black Mamba actually with the star, as mentioned. And those blockers out of play, so Black Mamba gets to go on by. We've got Sandy at the back of the pack, routed off to the infield, is going to get up to try again. Brides definitely are just letting that clock play right now and letting that clock run. Sandy blocked off
Sandy's
once again.
Keeping an eye on things there.
Yes.
Looking at the clock, looking at Black Mamba, trying to figure out what to do.
An official time adjustment there. Brief moment. 9:41 to go instead of 9:51. And then we'll get right back to the action. 3 points for the Brides there, 160 to 45.
When I'm a walking, I strut my stuff and
All right.
Strung out.
Yeah.
I'm high as a kite.
Now here comes Freya Hugs to announce something, and that's going to be a challenge. Yep. All right. So we have a challenge. The Brutal Beauties have used their second half challenge. We will find out what that is momentarily. It doesn't so far look like it's points because the eyes in the sky would be gone if it was.
Well, and we see
So?
a jammer sitting in the penalty box too, so there's
Also correct. Also probably a solid
Yeah.
adjustment. Yep. We'll go over the upcoming stuff once again. Upcoming things, All Skate, Friday, January 30th, 6 to 9 p.m. New Skater Orientation is the first Sunday of every month, 9 a.m. to noon. So New Skater Orientation is going to be that same weekend. It'll be February 1st. Be New Skater Orientation. It'll be right here, 9 a.m. to noon. There is a QR code in the warehouse to sign up for both of these things. For New Skater Orientation, you want to reach out to azddtrainers@gmail.com. For all skate, you can just show up. No RSVP required. Back to the action we go. As we said, 9:41 to go, 160 to 45, Runaway Brides. That is going to be Evil Twin down to the inside and out quickly for the Runaway Brides is Jazzmanian Devil. So, Jazz out for those brides.
Twin making their way out. Ooh, fighting,
Just
fighting.
got there,
we
yeah.
go.
Just able to get past Cherry at the end of the pack there as well. And then a big
Oh.
tumble. Jazzmanian Devil knocked down hard, takes a fall. He's going to get up and reestablish and quickly calls it off, heading up towards Fitzwilliam Darcy. So 4 points for the brides there. That's going to be Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties, Knight Mary for the Runaway Brides.
Nightmare gets bumped off onto the infield by Gypsy Danger, while Princess Leia is toward the front of the pack there, fighting against Sandra O'Connor. Ooh, Nightmare gets out. Nightmare lead jammer for the brides. As
There goes-
Princess Leia also gets out, making some nice headway. Let's see if Nightmare is going to try to get some points before possibly calling this off, and they do before Princess Leia gets there.
Mary calling it off. We will check on how many hips Mary could get her hips in front of here momentarily. None, according to the regulators. No points for Night Mary. Cherry Kiss and Evil Twin. Yep.
Jinx. Both jammers working their way around. Cherry Kiss kind of in the middle of the pack there. Evil Twins seeking something out.
We had Cherry take the star off and then just kind of finagled her way through the pack and gets out.
Yeah,
So
puts it
Cherry,
back on.
yep. Cherry, we're hopping that back on. And I see here we've got Stitches has the
Yes,
star in her hand and
Stitches
is
has the
fighting
star
through
for
blockers
Beauties.
to get out. So Stitches gets out, try to keep this to one scoring attempt for Cherry Kiss.
Cherry calls it off before Stitches is able to make it up for any kind of scoring.
So 4 points for Cherry. We're going to have a timeout of some kind here. Brutal Beauties are going to use one of their second half timeouts. So 6:46 to go in regulation. Runaway Brides 168, Brutal Beauties 45.
Don't forget that there is an after party this evening. Join us at the Thunderbird Lounge for the after party located on 7th Avenue, north of Indian School Road. And don't forget, our vendors are still at the Vendor Village. Green Irish Moon, Lace Those Eights is out there, Raven Sweet Haven, and also Dead Star Press is out there as well. So check them out.
All right, team timeout comes to a close. Gypsy Danger for the Brutal Beauties. NC Jammer for the Runaway Brides. 6:46 to go in regulation. Brides trying to go to 3-0 on the season here, trying to close out this victory in the late going, and NC Jammer is your lead jammer for the Brides.
Gypsy Danger towards the back there, trying to break through a wall of Sandra Slay O'Connor, Holly Hood, Jasmanian Devil. They're all back there. NC Jammer makes their way through for some scoring. Gypsy Danger now out. Gets a little shove from Black Mamba, saying, get going. NC Jammer coming around. See if maybe they'll pick up some more points before calling it off.
Seven points for the Brides there. We now have a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. And jamming for the first time in this power jam is Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum
One
Overdrive
Max fan in the
done a
audience.
great job
Exactly
defensively.
one Max fan out there. Thank you, one Max fan. That is appreciated by Max. Meanwhile, Max looking around. They're going to try to get Cherry Kiss goaded at the back of the pack, so they're trying to get Max sprung at the front here. Still nothing yet. Max tries to go along the inside, runs out of space, blocked off to the infield.
Still has that Bride's 3 wall to contend with. Oh, is able to get out.
Yep, for just a moment there, they finally were able to get those front blockers out of play,
Yes,
which is what happened. So
exactly,
Max
yeah.
got to go on around. Cherry is still trying to drive through at the back of the pack,
Oh,
tries to get in there and
Overdrive
play
does a
jammer
nice
defense.
little move there.
Lightning
Ends
the
up-
Queen with
yeah.
a hard block at the front of the pack to knock Max down to the infield. Max is trying to get those hips in front of as many skaters as she can before this clock expires. Max gets back up, and we'll have to see how many skaters she got by. That was a very protracted scoring pass that kind of went on for a long time. Going to be one of those where they were going to be keeping track. 3 is the number of points. 3 points for Maximum Overdrive.
Jamming now, we've got 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor, and number 5, Motion Sickness.
Yes. 4 minutes to go in regulation. We've got Motion Sickness near the front of the pack. Sandy's back here at the back and is now going to try to push through. Getting closer to the front. Now try to get past Fitzwilliam, Darcy, and now with the big block. Excellent block by Optimus
I was
Prime to
just gonna
spring
say,
Sandy.
That was really good. That
Great
created a
block
major
by
opening for
great
Sandy.
block by Prime to spring Sandy right there. Perfect block. Motion Sickness gets those blockers out of play, and so gets to go on through.
Sandy coming around, hoping to maximize some points here before Motion Sickness comes in, but calls it off.
There'll be about 3 minutes to go in regulation when this next jam begins. We will find out. We got 3 points for Sandy there for the Brides, 178.48. They're going to send Lightning the Queen to the jammer line, and that is Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties. We have a late jammer penalty coming in. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. An Evil Twin. Power O is getting out there. They're going to send out some other skaters here to swap up. Beauties quickly change their lineup to get their Power O out there.
This is a nice opportunity for the Beauties to score some points late in the game.
Yes.
Evil Twin kind of assessing the situation, decides to go high, then slides down to the low. Successfully skirting some of the Runaway Bride blockers. Lightning the Queen gets back up there with Cherry Kiss, but they are out of play. And Evil Twin is allowed to skate on by. Coming around now for points. Again, twins shouting instructions, gesturing wildly. Like, get me through, get me through. Pack is moving a little bit quickly. Twin gets bumped off onto the infield by, I believe that was Ash Smasham.
And just I saw Ash actually take a pretty hard fall there at the back of the pack. She's going to get up and reestablish. Pack is just kind of slowly making their way into the back straightaway now. Ash thoroughly goaded back there at the back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like Ash is going to get back to the bench, and that was quite a shot that Ash
This is a
took
rough
there.
sport.
Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
seen a couple of tough hits, tough falls tonight. I don't know
So-
who it was. It might have been Slayo who took a fall on her
Yeah.
knees, and my knees went ow.
Yes, absolutely. You know, yeah, they have pads on. That doesn't help that much. No, it does not. We have our medic over there checking on Ash now, so that I see Zora over there talking to Ash, making sure she's all right. So they saw the same thing we did.
Yeah.
Ash looked like she got wind knocked out of her at the very least. Critter for the
And
Brutal
again,
Beauties.
It's nice to have them here.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Zora heading away, so Ash must be all right. Sandra Slay O'Connor is out there for the Runaway Brides, by the way.
And Critter is out there for the Beauties.
I had to ask Critter, her number's 304, and I said, you know, a lot of times people have their area code where they grew up as their number, and she said no, and I can't tell you what her number means on the mic because it might cause us to get a Twitch strike, but it's not because she's from West Virginia,
Okay, all
which is
right
what I
then.
had possibly thought, but
So
no,
we're
that
just
is
gonna
Critter.
have to come up with our own ideas on what that number is for.
Exactly. It's
else-
calculator speak, that
Maybe
I
we
can
could
tell
Google
you.
it. Maybe it's a Googleable thing.
So now Critter's going to take that star off. 13 seconds left. Sandy is perfectly happy to just play jammer defense now and not let Critter get through. Under a minute to go in regulation. There will be one more jam, however. Nobody really out yet, and then Critter hands that thing forward, and we had a lead jammer for exactly 1 second this time.
And this could be our last jam, provided that everybody plays clean and nice and lovely.
So our last jam of regulation, we'll have to check on see about penalty jams once this is over, but this is going to be Princess Leia and Lightning the Queen, your two captains.
All right, and off they go. Lightning the Queen barreling through. Saleya also getting out. Both of them meeting up with each other. Lightning the Queen's decided, hey, I'm going to do defense. Now decides to, now it's a game of chase.
Clock has expired, so Lightning is just making her way around now, catching up to the pack.
Lightning comes around, collects some points there, calls it out before Slayer reaches the pack.
All right, so that ends the regulation clock. Let's find out about penalties and see what the final score is going to be here. All right, your score at the moment, 182 to 53. Looks like we got scores locked. Head referee Ref Boyardee is going to look around and check with everybody. We'll find out if there's going to be any penalty jams or not, now that we've got our scores successfully reported in. And that's it. Final whistle with a final score of 182 to 53. Victorious are the Runaway Brides. Come on down trackside and slap hands with your favorite bride skaters as they come on around. And then let's get a cheer up for the Brutal Beauties as they come on around as well. And they'll come on around, and they're adoring fans as well after a long, hard-fought bout. All right, Derby fans, that is going to do it for our bout. Don't forget, the next action here at the Hall of Dames is in 6 days. Roller Rage starts on Friday morning early, and we're going all weekend. The next regular season bout after Roller Rage that is here at the Hall of Dames is, turning to it now, February 7th. Thank you. Saturday, February 7th is going to be the Coffin Draggers and these Runaway Brides, and then the Bombshells and the Valkyries. Runaway Brides' last bout of the season. Been fantastic to announce for you this evening. As always, I am Clofton P. Grudge.
And I am Sookie Talkin' Smackhouse. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Yes, fantastic. We will see you again in 6 short days. Have a great evening.